Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm doing an update and just some housekeeping items. So I'll start off with crypto. I usually do global macro first, even though I do think there's some shifts going on here. Global macro today, we saw the yen bonds kind of trade better, which is the first time in several weeks, and then at the top of the range on the stuff that we've liked being short through most of this year on the Russell at the right spots. So we'll get into that. And then I also wanted, I changed a couple things, guys, during the sites just to make it easier for everybody to kind of follow along with what's going on. And we're going to phase out the River room because it's not as good a technology as the new Symphony room. And I did decide to have a free chat. So I was going back and forth on that, whether I thought that added any value when everybody's pretty much in either the Cycle Edge, the old real-time alerts room, or involved in the prop program and some of the live trading on Zoom. So, but anyway, I think it's the easiest way for people who are new to get in touch with us and kind of get familiar. So I am going to have a free chat room. You can click this link; it should work. And it's again through the Symphony platform, which is this. I'll come back to that in a second. And then I'm trying to update a webinar weekly. I'm going to do another one Friday. It's pretty laid back. We can talk anything markets, anything about the cycle, the model, just trading questions in general, specific to securities or stocks even. And then I'm going to talk about the prop program and updates on that because I know some of you have been wanting to get involved for November. So we'll just jump into it. Let's start with crypto. Not a whole lot going on other than we held pi. And I did update the sine wave. The cycle, I did a little bit of work here and I updated, let me freeze it and lock it before I forget. And I'll show you why. This is actually cycling. It's a little bit tighter now. And so the wave was a little bit longer before. Now it's shortened up. So if you can see the shorter wave, we had a high here, had a low here, high here, low here. So look how good this has been, right? This doesn't quite line up, but you cycled into a low here, cycle high. So you can clearly see there's the rhythm, right, guys? Low, low, high, high, low, low, high, high. This was like what was going on back in December after the peak when we had like 13 out of 15 cycle highs and lows with the turning points. Not much here. We got a low here on this turn. No real cycle turning point on this. I guess cycle inversion there with a high. And then you had two lows, but this was the last kind of low that stood out to me, and it was right on our pi line. So we're coming up on another turning point here at the end of the week. And I think the big turn is going to come here in December. And I'll pull this chart back in a second, but I think we're going to probably get a breakout to higher highs after we just held pi here and we're close enough to the bottom of the long-term wave that I think there's a good chance that this was the low. And then the next move after here is going to be back to higher highs. And so we'll see if that gets confirmed. Like this is the lower high that matters now relative to here, which was the lower high relative to here, to here, and to here. So you can see we're stair-stepping down the intermediate term. And so what I want to see is, not to make this sloppy, but it's not rocket science. It's a point in time here. You have two cycles converging, the longer term cycles. And if we start to get higher highs with this turn, that's the start of a new bull market. So that's encouraging. A lot could have happened here if we didn't hold pi into the bottom of this turning point. We could have seen a test of like the breakout area around 6,000, 6,500. But I'm not surprised that the pi line held. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's that green line. Let me clear this up. Now, when I drag this back, it kind of makes sense for us to break out again in December because that will be basically, this was the all-time highs here. We had one cycle down, and then we had another cycle into the lows with the breakout. And so you're basically you're 1.5 full cycles and a breakout here and a rally back into the old highs with the peak on this wave would make perfect sense. That would be basically a complete two 8.6 cycles on the longer term. So anyway, you don't have to scenario build that much, but I did think that this was pretty good timing on this wave is working out really well now for the shorter term stuff. So maybe you guys want to follow that a little bit more. I can do some more updates. But after this strength right here, coming off a pie, the fact that we haven't pulled back, what you'll get a lot of times, and this is, I don't want to go too much into teaching here, but when you get a move like that, it creates the wall concept, and you're holding within the top part of that, this candle, this move. So that's bullish. And if we make a low here and start to move back up without pulling back more inside of this bar, you should probably expect a high here into what's the cycle date here on this turn? 13th. So if we rally into the 13th, you got this resistance here at 10, call it 10,500. That's pretty key pivot. And again, that might line up with new highs into this turning point, which would be pretty key. So that's been our call ever since we couldn't break out on this wave here. And then this turning point actually produced a low relative to this high. So that was the call that we probably will cycle down and cycle sideways to down into the December. And we haven't been that active for that reason. So that's been the right call. That's all I want to have to say on crypto. The overall markets today, what we did in the room actually was busier today than I have been in a while. Just, I was traveling a little bit last week. But the market's just been choppy to sideways. So we've been talking a lot about long bonds as a pivotal level. It looks like it held yesterday. We rallied. I'll show you guys on some closer looking charts. The euro, we were talking about this morning. So all this is this cycle edge, JRM cycle edge. This is my new name for our membership. I'm trying not to overcomplicate things and just, there's several ways you can get involved with us. You want to do analysis. You just want to be involved in our chat room. You want real-time alerts. That's all under our membership, the cycle edge right here. All right. You occasionally get to have a live room in the morning for like an hour. We have charts analysis, but the real thing is you get the signals and you get to be a part of this chat, this membership room here. And so this is where I'm posting what I'm doing as far as swing trades, core longer term investing positions. We went short the Russell here. We tweeted out a little bit to this effect today. So all that, guys, is it's for $100 a month. It's $300 a quarter. I just got dinged by Hulu for $50 today. I think I used Hulu twice in the last 6 months. $50 a month. Doesn't make me money. There's no long-term positioning profits. Geez, just our one short call on Chipotle recently pays for 2 years of membership. But we came in a little bit short this morning, the Russell, and I did add and then covered some stuff. Euro dollars, I was pleased to see that was back on the rise here today. I've been core long there, and I don't know, I'm long twos. I didn't add to that position, but I do like the action. It's much better than it's been in a while. Here's the Chipotle trade I was mentioning. So, guys, at a minimum, I'd sign up for the JRM, the cycle edge. The River Room is going to go away. And then we have the trading courses also, which is another way to get involved with us. So this is all Jenkins CM, Capital Management, jenkinscm.com. All our coaching courses here, Intro to Forex. I put together a couple of packages. Forex stuff, the pie cycle, trading secrets is in there. I'll talk about the program in a second. Well, what did we do in prop today? We came in And the Russell's kind of been the strongest on the way up during this risk on rally, and it's finally we pinged that 1600 level, topping tail. You could even say there's inverse head and shoulders. We took out the neckline, pretty bearish. And so I'm looking for this to kind of crack pie on the near and intermediate term. We did come in a little bit course short from yesterday, and then I added this morning to that course short and we covered into this 200. Not sure how many guys in the prop did that, but that was something we talked about in the cycle edge room. Mostly what we did today was short the NASDAQ and just followed the trend. Just followed the power. You want to trade what is. You don't want to trade what you see on TV. You don't want to trade what you think should happen. You don't want to trade based on how things have been earlier in the week or what you expect to happen with the bean deal. Any of that garbage. You want to just try to focus on what's happening right in front of you. Where's the power, the momentum, the real money. Selling was here this morning. I actually leaned short first because our pie line was showing a pretty good edge. Oh, on the 15-minute, or is it the 5-minute? 5-minute. So I teach this pie line trading concept, something I discovered. If anybody's ever talking about it, they learned it from me. This is this green dashed line, and it's a cyclical concept. It's not about a line on the chart. But we were there this morning, so that was the right thing to lean short. And then on the open, you got this. We added, covered a little bit here, reshorted here into this bounce. This is a 50-minute chart, and then covered into the new lows. There's actually another opportunity to sell here, and then you move to a new low, which was a short covering opportunity again. But we were already up a couple thousand, some guys a couple thousand in the room, so we don't try to trade through lunch if we don't have to, and try to keep things simple and not the point is not to have to sit in front of your computer all day. But there was a couple of different opportunities there late in the day. We came in, went long oil. We liked energy because inflation's been accelerating the last month, 2 months. So oil tends to perform well in that situation. So this morning, before inventories, we were bullish on the 15-minute as far as trend and cyclically speaking. So we went long here, and then we could have added another piece down here. We waited, and I waited for this 1 minute to turn up. Might be able to see it over here. Waited for the 1 minute to turn up. Which this morning was right in here. So this was the 1 minute downtrend, and then we started to make a new high here, right, which was right in here. And we went long, and then we took profits into this move here. And there was actually a lot more that we had. Pretty simple. So that was long here. And then we were taking profit into this move. And then some of my guys noticed that we did have another pullback here we could have bought, and that moved to a new high too. That was good. And then we got out of the way in front of inventories, and it was all bearish. Pretty good intraday shift after that. You held pie, you bounced to a lower high, and then from there, once you couldn't hold pie here, it went all to lower highs and lower lows. So you wanted to be on the short side if you would have been day trading that this afternoon. But I still like oil longer term, intermediate term. I think the daily cycle is probably pretty high. It's had a good run, probably due to pull back. It's been having a tough time getting above 200, and here's the daily cycle again. It's about to change. And then we did a couple trades in bonds, and bonds have been pretty sluggish, and then they finally started to take off late in the day today. But when we were trading this morning, we actually came in and went a little bit short here because the trend was down on 10s. Right in here, thinking that maybe this would continue. It didn't. So what we did is flipped and went long 30s on this move. And then we bought into here and sold like a little bit of bonds out, and then I just ended up scratching with tens for the most part. So this was kind of a, I don't know, we gave back a couple $100 versus all that we made, and I'll just show you. So we made, oh, we did a trade on the euro too, but this is the gains on the euro. This was cut off. This was oil. All right, and this was short the NASDAQ. And then you can see this is what we gave back in bonds and tens right here. So like $1,200 on the day. We're all done inside of an hour of the open. That's that, guys. So big picture, I would say going forward and then tomorrow, I think you want to keep an eye on where gold and treasuries held, specifically the long end. Specifically the long end. I just hit on the daily cycle in oil, so oil might back off a little bit. But we've been watching these lows here, as I've been pointing out, is pretty major. Actually really major, and we held so far exactly where we should have. Now we need to see us get above yesterday's highs. That would be bullish, and you should probably see still lower highs on the intermediate term, which is signaling the same kind of, bearish. You have a lot of cross currents. You flipped to bullish near term this morning. Intermediate term is still bearish, but then you're still long-term bullish. So we kind of need to see higher highs here before the bond market kind of really takes off. But again, this is the low. This was our lower high today. We'll see if we can take that out. This seems awfully high up here. Bonds are going to be choppy. Bonds are going to be choppy because you still have growth slowing, but you've got inflation accelerating. So kind of makes for a choppy environment. All right, that's bonds. Gold, it's very similar. It's pretty much the same trade. It's been a sideways range trade. I'm a better buyer, below 1480. I don't think you need to be too concerned with the breakdown in gold, and unless we get maybe back below 1450, then there's a chance we can pull back to the 200. But it's mostly been choppy. We get to the top of the range, sell some calls. Maybe you come out of a couple futures, you get to the bottom of the range, buy some futures, sell some puts, cover some short calls. That's kind of how we've been trading it. And then equities, we talked about. I don't know. I think this could be a false breakout up here. I'm not really interested in shorting equities. We've been kind of playing a core long in S&Ps. But I do want to express a short on the Russell here. The small caps or late cycles where you want to be short, top and tail, top of the range. I kind of already hit on that. All right, guys. So again, a reminder, jenkinscm.com. There's a free ebook on cycles and time, and if you're interested on that. And I talk about kind of some of the stuff on our model as far as fractals and having multiple durations, risk management. So I hit on some of the pillars of our model, which includes analysis, execution, risk management. But a lot of cyclical concepts if you are new to time and cycles in the ebook. Next webinar is Friday. You should be able to click that and register, no problem. And then again, the chat room. There's the ebook again also when you try to leave chat room. And anybody that wants to get going on the programs, right here are the courses. So if you want to join the membership, that's there. If you want to just kind of learn on your own or you're interested in any of the courses, this is the best comprehensive package I put together. It's all of our courses, the options course, Forex, Bicycle Trading 6 is our full proprietary trading model, which is all institutionally based from my 10 years on the rates desk. And then I throw in some Cycle Edge membership there, which as a bonus. And then the coaching program, that's there. You can read about that. And then lastly, at the bottom is the prop program, which includes most of the coaching services and benefits. But then I hook you up with a Chicago firm where you have the opportunity to trade 150,000 up to 15 contracts and mostly futures. There's plenty of things to trade, from US indices to commodities, bonds. So wherever the opportunity is, even Forex, that's a great setup. It's a great program. I had one of my guys go do 9,000 last month already. And you keep all the profits. I don't get any commissions. I don't have any profit share. The firm will only ask for 20%. And you're basically just paying for my time to help you work through the program and trade with you every day to make money. So I hope that helps, guys. Have a great evening. And see some of you guys in the morning.